For the first few months, Mango mostly slept. Not the peaceful sleep of a dog who feels safe, the deep, total collapse into unconsciousness sleep of a body that had been running on adrenaline for so long that the moment it finally stopped, it simply shut down. He would sleep 18, sometimes 20 hours a day. We let him. He was paying back a debt his body had been carrying for years. He didn't know stairs, not a concept he had ever needed. The first time he encountered them, he stopped at the bottom and looked up like he was being asked to climb a mountain. We carried him, up and down, until one Tuesday morning, about 3 weeks in, he put one paw on the first step, then another, and made it halfway before stopping and looking back at us with an expression that said, "Are you seeing this?" We were seeing it. He didn't know toys either. The first time we put a plush squeaky toy in front of him, he sniffed it carefully, looked at us, sniffed it again, and then walked away. Not disinterested, uncertain, like he suspected there might be a catch. And then, somewhere around the 4th month, something shifted. We noticed it first at breakfast. He'd started sitting closer to us while we ate. Not begging, just near. One morning, he put his chin on a knee, just set it there very gently and looked up. We didn't move, he didn't move. We just sat there for a long moment, the 3 of us, in a Tuesday morning silence that felt somehow significant. By month 6, he was a Velcro dog, completely, utterly, almost comically attached. Wherever you went, Mango followed. Bathroom, Mango's at the door. Kitchen, Mango's 3 inches from your left ankle. Couch, Mango is somehow simultaneously taking up 2/3 of it despite weighing a fraction of what he probably should. His front feet, we noticed, always stand in what can only be described as ballerina first position. Heels together, toes out, perfectly precise. So we started calling him Ballerina Superstar. And somehow, impossibly, he can fold his long, elegant, impossibly angular body into the tiniest ball on the couch, like a physics problem that solves itself incorrectly. We started calling that his baby bean configuration. Sometimes you genuinely cannot tell where his legs went. But here's the part of the story we weren't expecting to tell. 2022 was the hardest year of our lives. We lost 5 grandparents that year. 5, not over a lifetime, in a single year. There are no words for what that kind of grief feels like. The weight of it, the way it settles into ordinary moments, a song, a smell, a Tuesday morning breakfast that suddenly carries an absence you can't explain to anyone. Mango was there for all of it. He didn't understand what was happening, of course, but he understood us. He would come over, quiet and deliberate, and rest his long, narrow head on a lap, or press his warm weight against a leg, or simply lie down nearby and stay. No performance, no energy to manage, just presence. Some stories are too important to keep to yourself. When we think about how we got through that year, and we do get through it, that's the thing about grief, you do get through it, we think about Mango, about the particular comfort of a creature who asks nothing and gives everything, who crossed an ocean in a cargo hold and walked into our house and chose us inside of 5 minutes. He'll probably never fully understand how much we love him. That's the bittersweet part of loving a dog. The communication only goes so far. But we'll be there for him no matter what. Every morning, every meal, every ridiculous ballerina superstar moment, every baby bean configuration on the couch. Mango is not the dog we thought we were getting. He's thinner and stranger and more attached and more present than we knew to ask for. He's brindle-striped like a tiger and gentle as a held breath. He's a dog who didn't know stairs were and is now somehow the center of gravity of our entire home. If you're thinking about adopting a dog or any animal, please take the time to learn what they need. Talk to rescue organizations, understand the breed, understand the history. Some dogs come to you having already survived more than most humans will ever face. They deserve patience. They deserve consistency. They deserve someone who will carry them up the stairs until they're ready to climb on their own. Because sometimes a dog doesn't need to be saved. Sometimes they just need someone who makes them feel, for the very first time, that they are exactly where they belong. And sometimes, if you're very lucky, they'll return the favor in ways you never saw coming. If Mango's story touched your heart, give this video a like and subscribe for more stories like this. There are so many animals out there still waiting for their 5-minute moment. Tell me in the comments, do you believe some dogs choose their families, or does the family always choose first? I want to hear your answer. He weighed 31 pounds. He had just flown 8 hours alone from Spain, and within 5 minutes of walking into a stranger's home, he pressed himself against them and asked for a hug. This is the story of Mango, the brindle ghost nobody wanted, who crossed an ocean to find the family that was waiting for him. He weighed 31 pounds. A dog his size should weigh 55. Every single rib was visible through his coat, and he had just spent 8 hours alone in the cargo hold of a transatlantic flight, crossing an ocean he didn't understand, toward a home he had never seen. His name was Mango, and in exactly 5 minutes, he was going to do something nobody expected. Galgos are one of the oldest dog breeds in the world. For centuries, they were bred in Spain as hunting dogs, fast, lean, built like living arrows. But every year when hunting season ends, thousands of them are abandoned, left on roadsides, tied to fences, dropped at train stations. The ones who survive do so by learning a single painful lesson: people leave. Mango had learned that lesson well. We don't know exactly how long he lived on the streets of Spain. We don't know how many doors he passed, how many people looked through him like he wasn't there, but we do know this. By the time a rescue organization called Galgo Familia found him, his body had been running on empty for a very long time. Not just physically, something deeper had gone quiet in him too. When we first heard his story, we weren't looking for a dog. At least, that's what we told ourselves. But you know how some stories find you before you're ready for them? That's what happened. We saw his photo, this brindle ghost of a dog, tiger-striped coat stretched over a frame that had no business still standing, and his eyes. Even in a photograph, those amber eyes carried something that made you stop scrolling. We said yes before we fully understood what we were saying yes to. The rescue group in New York coordinated everything with Galgo Familia in Spain. There were forms, there were vet checks, there were weeks of waiting. And then one morning, we got a message. Mango was on his way. He flew from Madrid to New York, 8 hours, alone in cargo. We tried not to think about it too much, what that must feel like to be in a small box in a loud, dark space with no one to tell you it's going to be okay. When we saw him at the airport, we went quiet. The photos hadn't prepared us. He was smaller than we imagined, thinner than we imagined. His spine pressed against his skin like a ridge of small stones. His legs, long and elegant the way only a galgo's legs can be, looked like they might snap under the weight of a gust of wind. But here's what shocked us more than any of that. Within 5 minutes of walking into our house, 5 minutes, he came over and pressed himself against us, looking for closeness. No adjustment period, no hiding under furniture, no trembling in corners. Just this skinny, exhausted, half-starved dog who had been abandoned, who had crossed an ocean alone, who had every reason in the world to distrust every human being he had ever met, walking straight towards us. We held him, and it honestly hurt a little, not emotionally, physically, because he was so thin, so angular, that every hug found a bone. You could feel his ribcage expand and contract with each breath. You could feel how much work his body was doing just to stay warm. When we pet him, it almost felt like he didn't know how to react, like his body was receiving a signal it had no reference point for. He would go very still, not tense, still, the way a person goes still when something good happens that they weren't sure they deserved. We started to understand. This wasn't just physical malnourishment. This was a soul that had never been told it was welcome. If you're still watching but haven't subscribed yet, honestly, that breaks my heart a little. Hit subscribe. You'll want to see where this story goes.